So, how is the Green Party today? At the beginning of the presentation, we talked about our key values and, in particular, grassroots democracy. The ability for people to participate in decision making is very important, as well as decentralization, which is the idea that instead of making decisions at a higher level and kind of pushing it down to communities, each community is making decisions and we're coming together to work together and cooperate. It's roughly the idea. Um, so those are our key values that kind of guide our organizing principles and all. And so that's the philosophy that we tried to hit when the Green Party was formed. And, as we discussed earlier, I think there's been lessons to learn from history. The things didn't always work the way that we thought, but, we learn from our mistakes and keep going, right? So, um, but the idea of the Green Party is based on this. The Green Party should be founded on decentralized democratic principles, which means that it operates differently from a lot of other political parties. Pretty much all of them, I think. Most of them, even the leftist ones, are much more centralized. And so, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It makes us different. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that hasn't been as good as we had hoped. And, we kind of learn from those things. But essentially, it means that rather than having the national party dictate everything, we try to allow local and state parties a large amount of autonomy. There we go. For them to kind of make their own decisions about various things, because the local organizing conditions are different. We mentioned, for example, the election laws are different in every state. And so just by that fact alone, state Green parties have to operate a little bit differently state to state because they have different laws, different requirements they have to meet. But also just, communities are different. The challenges they face are different. States in the West, in more, deserty areas, might be a lot more concerned about, getting clean water, for example, than, a state more in the East that has a lot more access to water, but maybe has other problems from industrial pollution or whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of community aspects that are involved in this. So what we try to do is set our basic green values and then allow local organizations to express that in the way that makes sense for their community, makes sense for their organizing. As long as we're agreeing on most of the key principles here, that's okay. So the National Green Party is designed as a federation of these state parties that we come together to support each other, even though we're also kind of autonomous from each other. There's state green parties that represent the geographies, right? The actual legal entities known as states in the US. But the National Green Party also established what's known as identity caucuses to try to give more of a voice to the various communities that have been traditionally suppressed. And so that's a nationwide thing that goes beyond borders. It's about identity as opposed to geography.